Adrina? Adrina Garcia? Really? Juliana? There you go. No Adrina? Okay. Adrina Garcia? There's two. Nope, she's not here. Madeline Godinez? No? Okay. You can give them a round of applause still. Oh, there she is. We have Melanie Godinez. We have Ava Gonzalez. Aria Jimenez. Megan Marquez. Come on up. Natalia Rodriguez. I don't know if let's see. Aria? There you go. Congratulations. Ava? Megan. Where's Megan? Put over here. Yep, Megan. And Natalia. Is that everybody? No, a couple more. Let me see. We got two more. Ivy Cifuentes. Come on up. Carol Valencia. Carly. I think there might be a little typo in that one. I'm sorry. Carly.
This is a starter, right?
Rayleigh Yanes.
It's like, ooh,
Riley.
I was ready for that. Yeah, great. There we go.
And I think we have, how do you pronounce this? Addison. Addison not here? Okay. Congratulations, ladies. Another round of applause. The shorter ones in front? Come this way.
Right here. No.
Those three?
Okay.
Over there.
Right here. Just don't stand in front of this one.
Right, don't stand here because your face is going to be blocked.
Take a little step to your right.
Next to you, Juanita.
Yeah.
Over to the right.
To the right or to, okay.
The way that I'm moving my head.
Scoot over.
There
Right
it
there.
is.
And then these four in the middle, they can step one step. There you go.
That's the challenge. That's why he's the photographer.
I want to be able to see all of them. That's great. There you go.
They're here to give us money.
One, two, three. All right, I'm going to do one more. Ready? 1, 2, 3. Awesome.
One more.
Perfect. Thank you so much.
Thank you for coming in.
Congratulations, girls. Good job.
Oh, just the team, just the team.
Girls, come back. Girls, come back. Go. Harley.
Coaches, if you can stand behind them. Yeah. Go, step. As there's four, I can't have them all in the middle because some of them are going to get chopped off.
From this one.
So, these two at the end, they can come over to the side. The two.
Just these two. Number two.
There we go. Good. Excellent. There we go. All right, ready, girls? 1, 2, 3. Do one more. 1, 2, 3.
As big as it
I'm
possibly
gonna
can.
pick the best one. All right, ready, 1, 2, 3. There we go.
Believe me, all that stuff.
I think it was a typo, so we can bring that first suggestion. Carly, if you want to check her, I think one of the letters is reversed. What are the rest of them, right? I think you should. I don't know if there's anything.
Give me a-
A lot of these here's extra for staff and everybody.
Thank you, ladies, and thank you, coaches, for coming in today, this evening. So you got to see a little bit of my work. Next, let's move on with our agenda. We have a public hearing, item number 1. I would like to open the public hearing. Do we have anyone to speak on item 1?
There is none.
Resolution ordering vacation of portion of Baybar Road referred to as street vacation number 22-01. Nobody?
At this time, Madam Mayor, it's appropriate to open the public hearing. I don't believe there's any submittal for public testimony. And is there anyone in the audience that wishes to address this item? The record should reflect that no one is stepping forward. It's appropriate to close the public hearing and bring it up to the council level for action. Consideration of the resolution.
Okay, let's close the public hearing. Do we have a motion?
Move as recommended.
Second.
Okay, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. And Councilmember Lara, I believe, is on there.
Councilmember Lar, can you indicate your aye vote because you are on remote?
Maybe we should do roll call on the next one. We'll do roll call.
Let's do roll call, Anna.
Okay,
Councilmember Elias.
This is for the vote on this item because
Councilmember Camacho.
Yes.
Councilmember Laura.
Yes.
Okay.
there he is.
Mayor Pro Tem Lutz.
Yes.
Mayor Dr. Sanchez.
Yes.
Motion carries.
Thank you. The second item we have regarding a public hearing on conditional use permit number 751, tentative to track map number 83619, major variance number 192, and application request by Warmington Residential to develop a 45-unit townhome development on a 2.5-acre lot located at 4820 Durfee Avenue. Do we have anyone, should we open the hearing?
yes, we can open the public hearing, Madam Mayor. Is there any public comment or anyone who wishes to address this item?
I believe we have someone.
Please step forward and state your name for the record.
My name is Hector Cervantes. My brother Alex Cervantes, we own a residence here in Pico Rivera, 9112 Union Street. I just want to go on the record. Back in May of 2019, I was trying to get a permit to build an ADU. And I was told because of a minor variance, I was kind of discouraged from building an ADU, which I truly believe is affordable housing. So 2 weeks ago, we just got this letter that they were going to have a major variance. That's why I'm here, just to hear what I have to do to get a minor variance to build an ADU. That's it. I don't know if you want to say.
Yeah, I mean, it seems like sometimes the cities are more harsher on residents than they are on new development. I mean, why is it that as a resident of the city, we can't get assistance to building an ADU? It just seems like California is all for it. You know, it just seems like the officials in the city are not too open for that or very skeptical with what we want to do. So, yeah, we wanted to kind of, in a way, see why is it that the city is in favor of these, big projects yet with the, with variances, and yet with a homeowner, there's just, I guess we have to hire somebody is that what it is? Like hire somebody that maybe has connections with the city? Or just like the average resident can't get assistance for this? That's basically our purpose of being here. Thank you.
Thank you for coming in. I didn't catch the second name, Hector and
My name is Alex Cervantes.
Alex Cervantes. Thank you so much for coming in. I believe our Economic Development Director is here, Mike Garcia. He can assist you in the laws and the property. So afterward, if you can speak with him and he can assist you. Yes.
Have an opportunity to speak?
Yes.
I had the opportunity of being able to attend the planning commission when this project was being considered, and it was passed with a lot of very good questions and so on. But one of the questions that was still out there was the question of parking. Okay. The construction was quite adequate in complying with the parking for visitors, short-term and long-term. But the committee was a little bit concerned because of the area there of the demands for parking in the future because of just the families. We got quite a large number of family members in there. So what they did was that they actually requested that the ad hoc parking have an opportunity to speak to the contractors on this and, again, discuss what the possibilities are. Michael, can you add to that?
Yes, and what I can state, council member, Mayor Pro Tem Mayor, council members, the applicant is here to if you have any questions. Warmington Homes is open to meeting with the parking ad hoc and developing a relationship. One of the ideas that they had was to work through their homeowners association to keep a program going long-term where they can make sure that the cars that are parking within the garage, that they're using the garages for parking and not for storage of personal items. Often that's what will happen in a townhome or a condominium project, that people end up using their garage for storage of items and then they park out on the street. And so they're going to address that through the homeowners association, CC&Rs, the conditions, the covenants and restrictions. So
And we will, in the near term, schedule a meeting with the contractors?
that's correct.
Thank you.
Any other comments from the council?
Sure. Madam Mayor, I'd like to say this is a great opportunity for our community to have new housing being housing for home ownership. Everybody likes to believe in the American dream, and part of that American dream is to own your very own property. And so this project here is going to be a great opportunity to have and welcome new residents that are going to be homeowners in the upcoming years. So thank you.
Mayor, this is Councilmember Andrew Lara. May I please say a few comments?
Yes, go ahead.
Thank you very much. Apologies for technical difficulties earlier. In regards to the two gentlemen that spoke, the Cervantes brothers, I wish we can do something to look into their issue because they bring out a good point. Sometimes I think a lot of times the little person, which is a resident, gets overlooked and these bigger projects get pushed ahead for a variety of reasons. And I'm not saying that there's any bad intentions by anybody, but sometimes those are the way those things happen. So I'd like to see that their project gets due diligence, and if there's a variance that can be had, I'd be interested on taking a look and supporting that variance. Going along with this project, I am a supporter of this. This is a great project in regards to rehabilitating that section of Pico Rivera that had been blighted for quite some time. I think this also it goes hand in hand with the revitalization of the bridge, the underpass there. My only question is that of Councilmember Elias, which is parking. I think a lot of times we give a little bit due deference to developers in regards to fitting families or units on as many inches as possible for the sake of affordable housing. But in the aftermath, this housing doesn't really become affordable over time, and we're left with parking issues. And there at Durfee, it's notorious. There are longstanding parking issues. So I support this project, but nonetheless, I would also like to review the parking and see it go to the ad hoc committee. Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you, Mayor. I think this 45-unit townhome and 2.5 acres in this property that have become available based on the underpass project that just took place, the Durfee Underpass project. I think it's a conforming use for that space. I know there's quite a lot of lots that were landlocked and are difficult to build. I believe this is one of them, and to see townhomes come in there, I think it's appropriate. I read the reports. I saw the meetings that took place and the concern about parking. I believe based on what I've read, those issues have been addressed to an extent. I don't think we can always meet that parking demand, unfortunately, especially in that area. The concern that I keep having, and I keep saying this over and over, that when you have a lot of this size and the new laws that are changing in Sacramento as it relates to housing density, if we don't approve or support these kind of townhomes, a developer can come in and say, I want to put 100 in the same 2.5 acre lot. So that's an issue that will create way more problems than it exists. But nevertheless, I think this 45 unit and 2.5 acre lot is conforming. I think it's appropriate. And but nonetheless, we have to continue addressing the parking requirements, not only in this area, but the city as a whole. And as we've been addressing at the ad hoc meeting, but I think this project is conforming. I will also concur with Councilmember Lara as relates to both Hector and Alex Cervantes on their issue. Let's take another look at that and see exactly how we can help and address that. I don't know the dynamics of it, but I think it's definitely worthwhile making sure that you get the proper attention that you deserve. Thank you.
Thank you. I want to echo the concerns with parking right here on Durfee Avenue, and if we could have the developers also reach out to the businesses in that area, including, I've had comments from Dave Showers and Doors, Brujadia, as well as the American Legion of residents from apartments that are on Durfee Avenue that would park overnight, park in the alley or block parking. As we know, construction creates issues as well with parking and traffic. So definitely that is a factor that we need to mitigate. If we could reach out to residents in the area as well as the businesses that are along that corridor that are going to be impacted. So that's my only comment. And if we have I think we can close comments. Let's close the hearing. And do we have a motion?
Motion to approve.
Second?
Okay, let's do a roll call vote.
Councilmember Elias,
Yes.
Councilmember Camacho,
Yes.
Councilmember Lara,
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Lutz,
Yes.
Mayor Dr. Sanchez.
Yes.
Motion carries.
Thank you. Next item, we have public comment. We had Hector Cervantes. This was the only, you spoke already. Okay, thank you so much. Next, we have Drew Cohen from Hope. Go ahead, ready for you.
Okay. Good evening, Dr. Mayor and the City Council. I'm here just to say two quick things. I just want to first give you a report on some of the activities that have been happening at Hope during the summer. We began with our 4th of July fireworks stand, and we appreciate all the city's work because they help us so much make that happen. Second, then at the end of July, we took over 65 junior hires and high schoolers up to Big Bear and had an amazing time. And then just last week, we had our kids' day camp where we saw over 300 kids. And these kids are all from our community. It was amazing over 3 days. And we taught them about the love of God and how special they were. And then, of course, right now, we are finishing up the summer with our back-to-school events. And so I just wanted to give you an update and let you know about the middle of July, we'll complete our summer activities. The summer is a really special time because the kids are out of school, and at Hope, kids and youth are not secondary, they're primary. So we really have to focus in on those issues. But in the middle of September, we'll be back, and again, I appreciate all the work that the council and the staff are trying to do to resolve our electrical issue and our solar issue. And then the second thing, and I wanted just to say, is that I want to be, again, grateful and thankful for the city, for the Dr. Mayor and the city council and all the staff, because we see what's going on in our city. We saw the underpass and how wonderful that is. We see the Burlington and Ross and the other, it's going to open soon, and how wonderful that is. We're noticing things that are happening in our city, and we know projects like that, I'm sure, are just a lot of balls in the air and take a lot of energy and effort to pull off. And so we are so appreciative of the job that you guys are doing. We think you're doing a great job, and we're just grateful because we see it. At Hope, we believe that excellence is our spirit, and if you come by our church, we try to do everything to the best of our ability, but we try to make sure our property looks sharp and nice. And so when we see the city doing things like they're doing, it just goes a long way, and we just really appreciate it.
Thank you. Thank you for coming in tonight.
Absolutely.
Do we have any public comment on Zoom or any correspondence via email? None?
There's none.
Okay, thank you. Let's move on with our agenda. We have consent items number 3 through 9. Do we have a motion to approve those items?
So moved?
Okay. Can we have a roll call vote?
Councilmember Elias?
Aye.
Councilmember Camacho?
Yes.
Councilmember Lara?
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Lutz?
Yes.
Mayor Dr. Sanchez?
Yes.
Motion carries.
Thank you. Next, we have regular agenda items number 10 and 11. City Manager, do we have any presentation or information regarding this?
On item number 10, Mayor and Council, this is an item, we've had updating our municipal code. Prior to that, there was no electronic bidding requirements. Now we have introduced electronic bidding, so we have to make some changes in the municipal code to adapt this new way of bidding. So this is, at the end of the day, what we're trying to accomplish here. I also have Terry Rodrigue to answer any specific questions as well.
Are there any questions from the council regarding this matter? No? Do we have a motion to approve? Can we do both at the same time, 10 and 11? If there are no questions?
No.
No, separately?
Questions on it?
Yeah, yes.
Yeah.
Councilmember Elias.
The request for approval of professional services agreement for a community-based benefit district. Now, I have been pushing for a program that would provide preference to residents for jobs, that are created here in.
Mayor, point of clarification, we're still on item number 10. We have to vote on item number 10.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, let's vote on item number 10. We can do roll call vote, and then we'll go to number 11.
So moved?
Do we have a second?
Does Councilmember Angelari make a second?
Okay. Roll call on item number 10 only.
Councilmember Elias?
Aye.
Councilmember Camacho?
Yes.
Councilmember Lara?
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Lutz?
Yes.
Mayor Dr. Sanchez?
Yes.
Motion carries.
Thank you. Now we'll move on to item number 11, request for approval of professional service agreement with New City America, Inc. for property-based improvement district and community benefit district formation services. Councilmember Elias.
So I was mentioning that, the establishment or creation of a community benefits district. Now, again, one of the inquiries that I have of council was how do we establish a preference program for residents for jobs that are being created in Pico Rivera. And obviously, one of the items was that such a preference is not very dispensable because of federal, the amendments, basic Bill of Rights in terms of, you can't restrict individuals from doing it. But a defensible mechanism is the creation of a community benefits organization or district. Is this going to allow us to be able to develop a preference?
No, this is what they refer to as a property-based business improvement district. This would allow the eventual formation of what they call a BID, similar to what you see in Pasadena, Fashion District in LA, Gaslamp District in Uptown Whittier. So eventually, there's going to be many, many community meetings with various stakeholders to form this business improvement district along the Whittier corridor. What it would allow it to do is pool additional resources to the area so they can maybe do additional security, marketing efforts for the business improvement district. At that point, there could be an opportunity to hire local employees because there will be hiring additional security possibly in the area, marketing managers. So it's in its early inception right now, but as we move forward, those are some opportunities that we could look at.
Well, we need a conversation on that because, again, you just described exactly what is available, for preference programs such as we're talking about right now. So this is a perfect vehicle for us to be able to establish what we need to do. Is that we need to develop a preference program where our residents get first priority for any jobs that are open here in the city of Pico Rivera.
Understood.
Thank you. Any other comments from the council?
I think it's something that is being worked on for some time now. This is something that developed from the Economic Development Committee as it relates to what we saw as reimagining Whittier Boulevard, and particular Durfee. There was an article on the profile a few months ago in relation to that. And I worked on business improvement districts before. I think these are two options as it relates, and we're going to be addressing both these options. One is more property owner based, the other is more business owner based. So the consultant is going to look at both of those dynamics to see what is more viable for Whittier Boulevard. But I think this is a great step in a good direction to begin to look at even these old buildings and really hold some of them accountable, some of these property owners accountable, but also encourage these property owners to be part of this because in essence, they will be, bringing in, attracting, marketing to new potential clients. Hence, you get more retail, better options in retail, but you got to basically redo this entire boulevard. What we've done in the past is more of a cookie cutter approach. Fortunately, we have the plaza. There's a lot of retail revenue being generated there, but on the north side, these are all buildings, so we have to relook at all Whittier Boulevard from one end to the other. And now that we're going to revitalize Whittier Boulevard, create brand new medians, brand new roads, this is our investment. So now we're asking the property owners and the business owners to invest as well. So this is a great opportunity for us to really look at the entire Whittier Boulevard corridor and determine, how we all partake, businesses and property owners in this. So I think this is a great item on the future of economic development for Whittier Boulevard. So I'm glad this is finally here in front of us. So thank you.
Mayor Pro Tem.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. I'm very happy to see that the staff is working on establishing the foundation of, in essence, beautifying our northern section so that we can have retail and streets and landscaping up to the standards that we've always desired. We've always desired to upgrade our retail shopping in our streets, and now this foundation that we're laying, the minimum requirements that we're requesting of the landowners, it's all going to come together. We're going to beautify the northern part of town, and I'm so very proud of the collaborative effort that everyone has been partaking in.
Thank you. Do we have a motion to approve the item?
So moved as recommended?
Second.
Okay. City Clerk, roll call vote?
Councilmember Elias?
Aye.
Councilmember Camacho?
Yes.
Councilmember Lara?
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Lutz?
Yes.
Mayor Dr. Sanchez?
Yes.
Motion carries.
Thank you. Let's move on to our city manager's report.
Yes, Mayor, City Council. I just have a couple updates. First, I want to play a video. This is a recent check that we received from the state of California. So we'll go ahead and play that. We were at the Summer Street Fest, and it was a great event.
They're here to give us money, $17 million for our Rio Hondo Park and Smith Park renovation, or Smith Park pool. So that is to be continued. It's going to take some time for construction, but the first part is getting the money, and we have that here today.
We learned one thing during the pandemic, that the parks are our lifeline here, and how much we already appreciate them and how much more we appreciate them out there. And so I want to recognize the city staff, the parks and rec staff for working hard to put this event together, and then for advocating year-round to bring additional resources from the state here to the city as well. And so we have a little surprise coming, a presentation, but I'm going to wait for my colleagues to do that.
You know, I want to take a moment to recognize Assemblywoman Cristina Garcia. She's represented you for the last 10 years, and I've seen her in Sacramento fight for resources for Pico Rivera, and I just want to give her one shout out and thank you from everybody. I feel a close affinity for the district and the city, but thank you for having me, and I'll let Senator Archuleta talk about the surprise.
Are you ready for the drum roll? There isn't a city that I can think of that's gotten $17 million, and it's coming to Pico Rivera. I want to invite everybody up here because we are making history. Today we're making history. For the first time ever, the city of Pico Rivera has been recognized in the state capitol in Sacramento to receive such an amount of money. $17 million. Again, Lisa, Christina, thank you so very much for being there with me to make this thing happen.
Again, we're closing in the past 2 years, $60 million in grant funding, so quite an accomplishment for all of us. So at this time, sure.
You know, it was explained to me the way that this thing operated right here, and yeah, you know, it was interesting because, yes, we were the city that received the largest amount of money there, but one of the things that they, explained to me was that the grant that was written was excellent. They said it was one of the best grants that they had seen, and that's what, and I think, was it Mr. Hernandez?
It was actually a collaboration between Park and Recs and administration.
Well, congratulations, because again, you know, when they start talking about the grant, okay, so you deserved it, and thank you very much. Thank you very much, staff.
Thank you.
Great. At this time, I just want to turn it over to Javier Hernandez to give an update on Virtual City Hall.
Good evening, Honorable Mayor, members of the City Council. I just wanted to provide a quick update on Virtual City Hall. As you are well aware, we have launched the new website, the new mobile app. Happy to report that we have now well over 1,000 people who have downloaded the app throughout the city. That's far short from, you know, the total amount of residences and businesses that we have here in the city. So one of the things that we did to kind of help promote Virtual City Hall as the newest way to really engage with the city, we established a citywide sweepstakes. It's going to run all the way until October 3rd. So giving the public roughly about 2 months or so to download the app, establish an account, and ultimately begin engaging with the city on practically anything related to, you know, city council meetings, to planning programs, projects, et cetera. Gabe, if you don't mind scrolling down just a tad, one of the key components of this sweepstakes is also that we are going to have a couple of grand prizes to kind of help promote and encourage the public, members of the community, to download the app. We have passes, family passes to Knott's Berry Farm, to Disneyland, but we've also encouraged local businesses to participate in this effort as well. Happy to report that we already have several businesses here in the community who are donating prizes, gift cards to their restaurants. And we are asking other businesses to participate in this effort, so we kind of make it like a dual partnership between the city, the local residents, and of course the businesses here in the city. So anyhow, I just wanted to provide a quick update. Any help and support that we can get from the community to promote virtual City Hall, to encourage the community to download. All the residents have to do is simply download the app, register an account, and you will automatically be entered into the sweepstakes. And then we'll be pulling the drawing on October 3rd at 5 p.m., and we'll do that virtually through the platform as well. And with that, I'm happy to answer any questions.
Thank you. How many residents so far have downloaded and registered?
We have about just over 1,000 people who have downloaded the app now.
Great, thank you.
So we're hoping that skyrockets with these encouragement.
Maybe we can turn to Pastor Drew to help us out a little bit too.
There you go.
Thank you.
Great. Thanks, Javier. Also, the city manager's report is out, so if you want some more details on a lot of number of things that we're doing here in the city, please take a look at that. And that concludes my reports.
Yes.
The report is impressive. How come we don't have a link in our agenda for that?
We can definitely include that.
Okay, so it's going to be in the future there? Because again, I think it's a...
Sure.
I think it's provided in the Dropbox. There's a separate Dropbox, I believe.
Yep. Okay, thank you.
Thank you. Let's move on to our good of the order. That's AB 1234 reports, new business and old business. I want to remind my colleagues, we may not discuss items or debate items that have not been agendized. So with that, let's go to Mayor Pro Tem.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. The item of meetings AB 1234, we had a joint meeting with the school board. Madam Mayor, Dr. Monica Sanchez was, I believe, out of town in Washington, D.C. We went ahead and conducted the meeting with the school board, Dr. Rivera and school board member Mejia, and we talked about a couple items. One of the items that we discussed is future festivities where we would work together, the school board and the school district, to have an exhibitor booth at our upcoming concert series and upcoming festivals. The other item that was of extreme importance was discussion of school safety, and specifically protocols that should be put in place. Also, we discussed possibly getting a consultant on board that would help the school district provide safety measures for all the school campuses for this upcoming year. And we also discussed funding for an officer to be placed at the schools or the high school. So it's an ongoing conversation, and it has been positive, and we're looking forward at the next meeting to have the school police chief to be a part of that conversation so that we have a little bit more detail and expectations of the school police and how we can assist them in providing a safer environment for the kids. At the end of the day, what we want is we want schools that are ultimately safe for our kids and have high academic standards that increase with time. So that is the item of AB 1234. And then finally, I just like to say I was very happy and proud to participate in the National Night Out, because I've noticed the change in our community that law enforcement and our community members are becoming one. And I would say thanks to to Captain Hutak. She's made a tremendous inroads in reaching out to the youth in our community and let them know that if there are any issues, to reach out to our sheriff's department. I also saw our first responders at that event, and they were engaging the youth, taking pictures. I thought that was beautiful. I call that 100% Americana, and I really like that our city is really engaged and our residents are out there interacting with our law enforcement, our sheriff's department. And of course, our concert series that we had, it was great to have all our council members up there and our staff celebrating that our senator, our assemblywoman, and all of our state and county representatives worked on acquiring these funds for our city. I believe that our staff is a rock star group, and I'm honored to be a part of this city. And we continue to move the ball forward to improve the standards and quality of life in Pico Rivera. Thank you.
Thank you. Councilmember Camacho.
Yes, thank you, Mayor. As I'm listening to Mayor Pro Tem mention the school district, remember that the school district just hired a new superintendent. Maybe we can invite him someday here to say hello. I did have an opportunity to have lunch with him, and I'm optimistic that I think they're going to do well. In addition to that, I too want to thank staff for the wonderful event that we had on Friday, led by our Parks and Rec staff and Director Ugar. But thank the entire staff, because this takes a team effort. Public Works, of course, our Sheriff Department. You know, it's great for us to convene again, bring back an event that had become a tradition that we started a few years ago. And after COVID, during COVID, the intensity of COVID, we ended that for a bit. But it was great to see everyone back there, because it does become a reunion of our community that they get to see each other during this time. And August 19th is our next one. So again, staff, thank you, everyone, for making a successful event. And we had the National Night Out as well, combined. Usually we do it on Tuesdays, but we combined it this year, and it was great for us to, again, law enforcement to be there and the community as well. But I do have a couple of questions just on some updates, if I may. Wanted to see if I can ask, well, first of all, I wanted to ask our Director of Public Works. I mentioned Whittier Boulevard, and we just approved an item with the Business Improvement District possibilities in the future. But we do have a Whittier Boulevard revitalization project coming. Can you just give us a brief update as to the timeline of this project and what it consists of again?
Sure. Thank you, Councilmember, for that question. The Whittier Boulevard project will be coming in front of Council on August 23rd for award of the construction contract. We have a low bidder. Obviously, we bid the project. We have a low bidder. We're planning to award it on the 23rd. That means that construction will begin likely prior to mid-September. That construction involves the median work throughout that corridor, as well as pavement restoration work. So it'll be primarily a paving and median project, along with some concrete work, necessary concrete work for ADA improvements, for sidewalk improvements, for miscellaneous things like that.
That's great. Thank you for that update. I know that'll be from Paramount to the Whittier Boulevard, the city of Whittier.
Yes, that's correct.
It's going to be a complete reconstructed Whittier Boulevard with new landscape and medians and so forth. So it's going to be a beautification on Whittier Boulevard, and it's been in the works for some time now, and it's great to finally see. And it's going to be a headache with construction, like all construction is, and we're going to do our best, and I know staff's going to do their best to mitigate the impacts to the business community and to the residents. But I think it's a great project for us to, that's coming before us. Second, there's a couple of in Parks and Recs, there's a few activities. So just want to get a brief update on the dog park, the pool, and Real Hondo Park, if possible. And just a brief, Director, you guys, just so we can see where things are coming, because they're beginning to now materialize rather quickly.
Before we start, could I put a shout out to Captain Hutak, because she secured the flyover the helicopter flyover, and that was really cool. Like everybody's still talking about it because he came down and he waved, and that was just really neat. I didn't know he was your partner, so if you could thank him for us, I think that kind of made it like really special. But for the update for the dog park and Rio Hondo Park, we are in the process of getting the RFPs together to go out to RFP to get the designs done and brought to you for both of those projects. However, for Smith Park Pool, we will be bringing you the design team. We've gone out to RFP. There was 9 companies that bid, excellent companies, and so we interviewed the top 3. All top 3 were fantastic, and we have a group that we're bringing to you. They're very innovative. They're different. They're out of the box. And I just want to let you and the community know we won't be renovating the pool. We are going to be gutting it and starting over and building something very new with this money that we have now. So it's going to be really beautiful. And I'm excited because their use of technology and what they're going to be bringing to us and bringing to you 2 to 3 different designs that you can choose from, I think you're going to be really happy. So that'll be on the agenda for Tuesday, August 23rd for you to approve.
This is great because, it's all moving finally forward. We got the funding, we got the state funding, and I know that it's basically come 2023, we'll have a dog park, a Rio Hondo Park, and a pool in construction.
In construction.
In construction, not completed. Well, some maybe the dog park, but nevertheless, it's great stuff. So I just want to get an update. Thank you, Mayor, for the time, and thank you, staff, for everything you do.
Thank you. Councilmember Elias?
I have 2 meetings and a comment, if I can. The first meeting I have to preface with a little story. About 2.5 years ago, I received a phone call from some of the staff members from City of Los Angeles, and they wanted to alert me that the City of Pico Rivera was discussed in an economic development roundtable by Mayor Garcetti. And I said, well, great. What they talk about this for? He said, well, in this particular one, what the City of Los Angeles was considering was Latino entertainment as a growth industry in Los Angeles. So they identified the forum and the other large venue that they have. And the third one was the sports arena, okay? The sports arena. It was rated 3rd in terms of successful revenues for Latino entertainment. Now, I had the privilege of attending Colombiano Day. And, I attended it and was just amazed at the number of people that were there and the number of people from the outside that were coming in, okay, to spend money, okay, and get entertained there. And, when you talk about the potential that we have of really developing a venue of Latino entertainment and just, community entertainment, it is there. It is there. So what I would want us to think about is investing in that road. We need to get that road in there. We need to get that road. We have the resources, okay, to get at least the fund going in there. How do we stand right now in terms of the road?
Well, that road will actually be taken down in about a couple years. So what we're working on right now is a plan to secure funding and to build back that road by the federal government. But in about a couple years, they're going to take it down to do the work for the Whittier Narrows Dam modification project.
Now, what previously before we changed districts, okay, Supervisor Solis had talked about the fact that, it was a natural for a cultural development firm or venue because it was right next to the equestrian center of Los Angeles County, okay? And what I'm thinking about is that if we began the funding and invited cities and other participants to invest in that road, I think we would be able to get there, without having to bear the brunt of the financing the road by ourselves there. Because again, there are interested parties that are willing to help us if we develop a venue that centers around the Latino culture, okay, And again, if you take a look at it, there's nothing like this around this area.
Thank you.
Okay? The second meeting that I had was a meeting of the, a parking situation that, that some of the businesses at on Durfee Boulevard had. And, I wanted to report on this one because this was a display of community action, altogether. As I've mentioned to you before, we get a parking survey and assessment almost annually, and the results basically say, on the average we're all right, okay? But when you take a look at the study itself, there are pockets of areas that have serious parking problems. And again, our approach with the consultation of Michael and his staff is identifying those areas and then trying to address each one with their unique needs. And in this situation, we had businesses that were kind of, vying and tackling the situation of parking. And what was resolved from it was the fact that they would start talking together and start scheduling events, okay? A simple thing of getting them together and saying, listen, we've got limited parking, let's do this. And, everyone was pretty happy with that, okay? All we have to do is just make sure that everyone gives notice in advance to be able to, to assign parking. Mike, is there anything that we want to add in that portion?
No, I think it was great, that meeting, bringing two businesses together to collaborate on what could be a very great event, an event similar to what Director Javier and City Manager Steve had come up with about 2 years ago, an idea for Durfee. So I'm looking forward to being a part of planning, and we're going to need a little bit of help from Public Works and a little bit of help from Parks and Rec, and looking forward to being a part of that, so.
Well, Michael, too, also, Durfee's a very narrow street, but it has quite a large median, okay? And, we took a look at it and said, why do we have quite, this is like the only street that I've seen that has this, size of median. The median so large is that people, when they don't have a parking spot, park in the median, okay? And then, do their business in there, all right? So the situation was, and again, Mike, I have to give, and Councilman Lara, he's actually the one that, started the meetings and so on. So, he deserves a credit in there. But the idea of being able to take a look at that street structure again and develop a parallel parking situation. Now, is that a possibility?
Council member, it'd be something I need to work with Public Works on very closely, because it would be needing, if you're gonna go with like an angled parking situation instead of keeping the existing parallel parking there, we'd need to work with Public Works to make sure that that's something from an engineering standpoint and a traffic, and you have a certified traffic engineer here.
Yeah.
He'll give us, give his opinion on whether we could take out that, basically that rescue lane, that merge lane in the middle, so.
And again, this is, we're pursuing it an area at a time. And I guess, again, this is the best approach that we could use. So thank you, Councilman Laura, and thank you, Michael, for, for showing some imagination and problem solving. My last is, I teach, and this is my summer. And when they asked me how my summer was, I said, it wasn't, I get the chance to talk to a lot of community members, okay? And a lot of community members have a chance to talk to me here. Michael, are 501c3s included in our grant and loan program?
Yes, we have given some money from the city in $10,000 increments to different groups that are tax exempt, and they definitely can apply.
Fantastic. Okay, fantastic. Because again, they require some relief. They've been handling a situation that as explained to me and just witnessed. The cooling centers and doing all of this. They've been doing a fantastic job, and they need some relief. So I'm glad to hear that 501c3s are included. Thank you.
To ask another question on that, can you give us a quick update? How many applicants have you had? How many have you dispersed? And are you still accepting, do we still have funds available?
We have gone through, Mayor, we have gone through 2 rounds now, utilizing our CDBG funds and some old EDA grants. So up to this point, we've given out 25 through Community Development Block Grant funds and another 4 through some old funds that we had through the Economic Development Administration. We have a 3rd round that will be coming up soon. We've already started outreach to different businesses who have expressed interest in the past, and for one reason or another couldn't submit their application. We also have additional funding for possibly 13 to 15. And so in the 3rd round, we're going to not only do outreach to the individuals who have expressed interest, but identify some that we've heard from council and from you as well, Mayor, that we're going to try to make our best effort to make sure that they feel that they can submit in a timely fashion for the application. So.
Wonderful, thank you. Thank you. Councilmember Lara, I didn't forget about you there, if you want to give your good of the order.
Thank you very much. First, AB 1234. I managed to attend my committee that I'm assigned to, the Southeast Water Coalition, on last Thursday. They brought in the attorney that's representing the city of Pico Rivera and multiple other cities, but they brought him in for an overview of the litigation, what's involved, what's taking place. There were some members of that, the Southeast Water Coalition, that just wanted an update and wanted more education in regards to getting involved. Other than that, there was really no other actionable items to report off on. In regards to other informal activities and meetings, I managed to meet with 2 school board members, Mejia and members Perez. And it was just very informal, along with Councilmember Lutz managed to join us, just pure happenstance. And we just talked about collaborating. We talked about hopefully having another meeting. We talked about having a meeting in a retreat fashion, something less formal, just so that we can talk and just put together ideas. We believe that there's areas where we can continue to collaborate. We think that the city has some expertise that can help them in regards to going out and getting funding for their programs. They want help in developing some projects. I just think it's just great. It's great that both parties are truly working together, and we're working together to improve our community. I'm happy to report off that the school board voted on our memorandum of understanding letter. I don't know if I could really call it that, but it's basically a letter that states that the school district will allow the city to go out and seek funding for the redevelopment of Ruben Salazar. I think that's important. I think that's important because it's a step forward. It's a step forward to helping their students, and also helping the community get the best get the best out of our green space, developing it. In addition to that, I think that's basically about it. But I want to just lastly touch on the meeting between Brujadia and the American Legion, which I thought was really good. We've had a series of meetings where we've just talked. We've just said, look, this is the commander, Marty Morones, who's a very humble and very just caring individual, along with the gentleman who owns one of the partners that owns Brujadia, who's also very understanding. And it was just a matter of just sitting them at the table and allowing them to work out their differences and then also build a path forward. One thing that I'd like to hopefully get a second on, and creating just a small ad hoc committee. The American Legion, Commander Morones would like to put together a car show on Durfee. His vision is that we shut Durfee down for the day and have about 100 cars. He already has a contact. He wants to promote businesses. He wants to promote Brujadia. He wants to promote the American Legion, have some bands there. I think this would be a good venture. So I'm looking for a second. I believe Councilmember Elias, you had expressed some interest in potentially joining so that we can use resources with the city Parks and Rec. I know Director Hernandez and our city manager had talked about this project some years back. So I think this would be good. I think this would be good to try to help them realize that. So if I could get a second for that, I'd really appreciate that.
Can I second me?
Of course.
Okay. Thank you. Other than that, that's basically about it. My apologies for not being there in person. My son, who's 7, tested positive for COVID today, and I'm not feeling that great either. So I thought it was just best for the abundance of caution that I just stay home. And so thank you very much for putting up with me being away.
Thank you. We wish you well, and hope your son gets a speedy recovery.
Thank you.
Thank you. Councilmember Camacho.
Yeah, just quick, and thank you, Councilmember Lara, for bringing up the MOU or amended MOU with the letter that the district approved, so we can go after funding for Salazar Park, and hopefully we could renovate that as well. Took a little while, but what's important is that it's been approved and it'll become before us. But in relation to the discussion about the meeting with Brujadia and American Legion and the issue related to parking, one of the things I wanted to ask staff, my understanding, there's a new, several stalls, I believe there are about 8 or 9 stalls that were built with the underpass project, which are closest to the underpass on the west side that are still being blocked off. In addition to, I understand that the property, that lot that is in between the fire station and the park, we're going to acquire that based on the underpass project. Is this correct?
That is correct. We're waiting for them to close the project out, and ultimately, we'd like to take possession over those 2 properties.
So in light of not only helping alleviate the issues, not only to these 2 businesses, but also to the other businesses, and then also the future of that entire corridor, I think I would like to recommend, I know we're not here to approve, but just recommend that we start looking to see how we can utilize those properties to create additional parking, and I think we can do quite a lot. That entire area, we're going to start having to acquire some properties for parking, but I think those are 2. One's already built, the other is just a matter of acquisition and moving. So I just want to recommend that as the discussion moves forward, that these made available for that.
Will do.
Thank you. I just have a couple of things to report. We hosted at the Pico Rivera Golf Course a Water Education for Latino Leaders Summit. And thank you to Councilmember Camacho. He served on the planning committee, and that was part of I was part of a 6-month educational cohort with other elected officials, council members, school board members, and water board members to learn everything related to water. And I felt that it was very important. Senator Bob Archuleta attended. It was sponsored by WRD. Several officials were there, as well as Cal Water and Metropolitan Water. So there were a number of elected officials that attended, and it was a great event. It was wonderful to host that in Pico Rivera. We received a lot of good feedback for that educational event. Next, I wanted to share, I attended a dinner for the Feria de Nayarit. So we had several residents that are either from Nayarit or they actually came this weekend to the festival that was at the Pico Rivera Sports Arena. So we provided a proclamation to, it was just well attended. You can't, if you look at the social media at the sports arena, that of all the people that were there, it was just really packed. So it was a wonderful event. They had a lot of crafts, food vendors, great music. It was a great event. I also attended the Summer Street Fest and National Night Out, and that was a great event for everyone. And then I wanted to highlight within our consent calendar, I have appointed a student commissioner, ex officio commissioner for the Parks and Recreation. Her name is Ellie Mejia. She's an 11th grader at El Rancho High School, a student leader. So we're looking forward to having her join on board at the Parks and Recreation Commission. And I want to wish the El Rancho High School students and all the students in El Rancho Unified, I think tomorrow is their first day of school, so I want to wish them good luck. And don't forget to wear their masks, stay safe. From what we're hearing, this new variant is also touching children. It's getting children, and so children are not immune from COVID, and we still have the ability to get that, so we still need to continue to use our sanitizer, our face masks, and promote that. And I have two more things. I participated in an interview regarding our fiscal audit, and this is just a very important part of the city, which I think we don't hear a lot about, but I think it's very important in order to prevent fraud, make sure that our books are in order. Assistant City Manager, can you give a little snippet tell us what this is all about?
Sure. Thank you, Mayor Dr. Sanchez. So as part of the audit process, before they dig into the numbers and helping us close our books, they have certain inquiries as to the areas where key members of the organization or any member of the organization would like for them to look into. So they always select a member of council, and then they select random people from our organization as well. So this is in line with fraud inquiries, and they just want to make sure that they have the opportunity to touch on areas that we may or may not point them to.
And this is a part of a normal annual audit, correct?
It is, yes. It's done every year.
So there were no complaints or no suspicions of this, but we take the initiative to have an external auditor come in and audit our fiscal records and ask questions and dig before as a preventative measure too. So we do preliminary audit, and then this is ongoing, I believe. She told me through September, starting the main audit in September.
It is, and we'll bring you the final report, I believe, January of next year. Takes a little while to wrap up for them.
Yep, thank you.
Mayor, if I can add that, in light of the audit, I know that, the state has audited us as well, and for several years, and we're considered one of the lowest risk cities in the entire region as far as practices, procurement practices, financial reports, quite a bit. So to be able to have that designation reflects on how we're operating here in the city. So thank you for that highlight. I just wanted to point that out. In addition to our internal audits, the state audited us, and we're in a good standing.
Yeah, we're in good shape, so thank you so much. I wanted to highlight that. And lastly, I wanted to share, tomorrow is going to be a virtual hearing for the Metro Gold Line expansion. Although it's a virtual opportunity, we'll have a presentation. Residents can come here in person and get information, as well as leave any public comment, concern, or in favor or in opposition to the Gold Line. So I wanted to bring that up at 6 p.m. tomorrow here in our council chambers. Is that correct? Yes.
That is correct, and we're pushing it out on social media as well.
Thursday, I'm sorry, not tomorrow, Thursday. I'm sorry. So that will be Thursday at 6 p.m., and I want to highlight that to our residents. So that is it from my good of the order. We do have we have two matters regarding anticipated litigation. We have also conference with labor negotiator. And before, City Attorney, you take us into closed session, I want to mention tonight we're going to close, not yet, but in memory of Mario Ramirez. He's a Marine, graduate of El Rancho High School, class of '89, including resident Rafael Zuniga. He's 93 years old, and Al Macias, he's 91 years old. So before we step away, and I know that people leave, we want to close. That will be who we close in memory for. So, Mr. City Attorney, can you take us into closed session?
Yes, Madam Mayor, you've made the announcement of the three items, and it would be appropriate for the City Council to recess into closed session. Thank you.